Welcome back to Dark Nights. We left off after Miyoko pushed Kaichi to the ground. Perhaps they know something about your curse as well. Alright then. If anyone sees us, they'd think you're trying to assault me. Kaichi glares at me in response. I throw a devilish smirk. The shuffling of feet grabs my attention, and I quickly get off him. The student then passes by but does a double take. Seeing Kaichi lying on the floor at my feet, he looks back at me and slowly walks away. Kaichi grumbles as he stands up. You're lucky I'm not in my true form. I would have taken you right there. Now excuse me. I will remember this. Good. I return home, but just before I enter through my door, my mind wanders off the chain. Maybe I should warn him that Kaichi is after him, or does he already know? Even if he is prepared, will it make a difference? While making dinner, I hear the doorbell. Who's there? When I open the door, a woman stands in front of me. Her eyes are blank, not really staring at anything in particular. Hey, it's a zombie. Neat. Immediately, I know something's not right. A chill runs over my body as I step back in unease. Hey, aren't you the person who went missing a few days ago? I open my mouth to ask again, but she suddenly leaps at me. Reflexes make me jump to the side, dodging as she dives to the floor. I nearly grab an umbrella and bring it down over her head. She lets out a pained groan, and I take this chance to shove her out of the door, which I then promptly slam shut. The woman starts banging the door from the other side, and I quickly slip the lock in place, fingers trembling. I quickly check the back door in the kitchen and all the windows in the living room. Good, everything's locked. I only relax after the banging on the door stops. What was up with that woman, though? What happened to her? I pull out my phone to dial the police. With every ring, I hear more groaning and shuffling outside. Oh my, umbrellas. There's more of them. I drop my phone when I see a woman's face outside the window. Empty gaze meets mine. I have to get out of here. I jump back from the window. I've seen that woman, named Emmy, in the newspapers listed under missing people. The banging starts up again. The voices behind the front door grow louder, as if multiplying. A chill runs down my spine. If they break in, I'm dead meat. I don't know why these people are here, and in such weird states too. Kaichi was right in saying I'm being hunted. Kaichi, maybe I could call him for help. Wait, what am I even thinking about? There's no guarantee that he'd come to my aid, if I can even find a way to contact him. The police say the only safe place I can think of. At that moment I hear this sound of shattering glass somewhere. As predicted, I cannot stay here. I clutch my umbrella close as I run through the back door. As I'm running, look back. A number of people are surrounding my house and some are already chasing after me. Why am I suddenly being attacked by a bunch of weirdos? Panic scatters my thoughts as I nearly trip over a crack in the sidewalk. I end up in the forest, even though I didn't intend to. Is this the only way to go? Huh. Turn right. Go right. Go right. Okay, so let's keep going right. Huh? How did I end up here? Survived The Walking Dead. This is far from the police office. I never knew there was a temple in the forest. Oh, maybe it's the village demon. Well, Forest demon. And we'll leave one of those saves, just to get the bad ending later. I glance back to see the crowd of people still following me. There's even more of them than before. Judging from the sluggish way they move, something's off. Gee, great. I've got drunkards chasing after me. This better be a joke. Using self-defense against them shouldn't be an issue, right? Suddenly a few of them pop up in front of me. I thought I'd lost them, but in fact, there have been more of them quietly roaming the forest. With them right on my heels, I rush out to the temple yard. I may be dooming myself by being in the center of a wide open area, but at least I'll not be caught off guard by any surprise attacks. Surprisingly, they're weaker than I thought and go down easily. I try not to think about it when they do not stand back up. I continue hitting and swinging, but there's too many and I end up surrounded. Heaving, I look around at all of them with a glare, not feeling scared anymore. You guys are nothing compared to the gangs I fought during freshman year. One comes close to biting a chunk of my arm off, but I bat him aside. When he falls, it leaves a gap in the crowd that allows me to continue carving an escape path. I'm almost free from the crowd when a hand suddenly grabs my ankle. Caught off guard, I fall back and hit the cold grass, losing my umbrella in the process. I hear a strange noise behind me, followed by a short silence. Turning around, I see dozens of faintly glowing strings covering the entire area. They seem to gather in bunches, with some intersecting each other, but all of them are attached to a part of each person in the crowd. I can't tell where the strings originated, but it seems to pin the crowd in place. After a while, the whole field is full of unmoving bodies. That was tough. Are you okay? Seiken jumps off the roof of the temple and approaches me. Was he the one pulling those glowing strings? I try to thank him, but the pain in my knee cuts me off. I look down to see a hole in my thigh-high sock, showing a gash on my knee. Right, I hurt myself during that fall earlier. Great job luring those freaks here. Hearing the sarcasm in his voice, I puff my cheeks. Thanks, I could have died on my way here. By the way, do you have any idea what happened to those people? I don't get why they were all after me. They were possessed and probably had no idea what they were doing. I glance down at the field and Seiken follows my gaze. Guessing from what I've seen, they were already dead to start with. You don't have to feel guilty about this. I nod, but still can't avert my gaze from the bodies. Thank you for earlier. And every other time you've had to save my life. The silence feels awkward. Perhaps it might be better if I just go home. The pain in my leg makes me snap and grip my teeth. Ow, my knee. Seiken takes a few steps towards me and quietly knees down, examining where I hurt myself. Stay with me for the night. Wait, As he stands, he knocks the back off my knees, making me lose balance and fall backwards. I almost shout at him, but then he catches me in his arms. Unlike last time where he treated me like a bag of potatoes, he's not doing that. Where are we going? To my residence? He heads into the temple confidently, unbothered by the darkness. I didn't expect you to live here. You didn't think I lived in a cave, did you? Heh. No? Totally did. Hey. The intense look on his face makes me look away instead. I do not need to look at the wound to know the cut's pretty bad. He places his hand on the wound and I feel the area growing hot. It feels strange but comfortable. A few seconds later, I see him wiping the blood off my knee with a cloth. The cut's been closed perfectly, without a scar or blemish as if it never got cut. What is this sorcery? Are you hurt anywhere else? No, I'm totally fine. Thanks, Seiken. Did you just heal me? That's amazing, you're like a saint. I'm not dead yet, besides, I'm far from being holy. Without further explanation, Seiken suddenly stands and walks away. Thank you for fetching it. Seiken sits opposite me and lets out a sigh. Let's call it a day and get some rest. Tomorrow, you're gonna help me bury those corpses. So that is the true reason you wanted me to stay. You knocked them down, so take responsibility for it. I know you were horrified and feel guilty, but burying them is the best you can do. Those people won't rest in peace until you burn or bury their bodies. Fine, fine, I'll do. By the way, are you aware that the police are investigating the forest? There are a lot of them. I was worried. Worried about me? Well, I saw you burying a corpse a few days ago. This large body looming over me makes me feel like I'm being caged in. Freeze up. Dead or nerve? Did you think I killed those missing people, Miyako? Get straight to the point. His eyes look intense, almost threatening. That's what I saw, but to be honest, I don't know the details of what happened. I wanted to ask you about it before jumping to conclusions. I want to trust that you're a good person. His expression softens as he pulls away. No one ever said that about me before. Maybe I was too quick to judge you. He sits down, mumbling softly. I want to know more about him, but I might hit a landmine if I dig too deep. I know you're trying to help, but don't involve yourself further. It's too late, I'm already involved. Not for long if you continue like this. Not only are you fragile, but you're walking on a tightrope above death. You almost drowned, fell from the sky, got chased by the undead. I warned you from the beginning to stay out of the forest. Hey, the last two weren't my fault. It doesn't matter what's your fault. Maybe you're the one who's bad luck. Yes, I cursed you, so don't come back. No, I won't leave until this whole mess is solved. Don't you know how the body count rises every week? This village is dear to me and I want to protect my friends. I don't want to end up as a victim either. I have a gut feeling that something in the forest is related to these misfortunes. You're still going on about the demon? Might not be a demon, but I'm certain something is going around killing people. We continue to argue until it gets late. Everything is dark around me. I fumble around for something to grasp, but there's nothing but empty space. What's it called? On Karado's route, those two siblings and Kaichi were hunting down the zombies. Same with Karado. In this one, Karado's gone. And, well, those siblings aren't here either. A red-haired person comes into view running past me. I realize it's Zakun. The voices get louder and closer, almost as if they're chasing after him. Oh no. I reach out my hand trying to grasp him. I slowly open my eyes, realizing it was a dream. There's something red and fuzzy in front of me. I blink a few times until my vision clears and I'm facing Zakun's annoyed face. What? I was just checking you because you were groaning in your sleep. Now let go of my hair. Immediately releases braid. Never imagined I'd do such an embarrassing thing. Now that you're awake, come with me. What? It's early in the morning and he called me to bury corpses. Zakun hands me a shovel to dig holes. I've been looking forward to this. I'll carry the bodies, you bury them. Why don't report this to the police? The villagers would panic if these bodies turned up. Panic is troublesome. The field looks like a mass murder had taken place. How will you explain this with your blood-stained umbrella and clothes? Self-defense? The investigators will look at their bruises and conclude they were beaten to death. Who do you think they'll turn to then? It's better to bury them so their souls can find peace. Not how that works. Their families won't. They'll keep waiting for them to be found. He starts lifting one of the bodies, piling on top of another. This is exhausting. My arms are burning, but I can't relax with this huge responsibility on my shoulders. I continue digging. A short while later, Zakun finishes carrying all the bodies from the field. I can't dig fast enough, so he gets another shovel and joins me. I was wondering, how long have you been at this? Only recently. This has been bothering me for a while, but a news article mentioned 2 bodies being found in a river linked to the forest. Do you have any clue what happened to them? You never stop asking questions. Fine. It's rather unpleasant, though. Do you remember those missing tourists a couple weeks back? I think they got too close to the water and slipped. They got swept into the rapids further downstream. Even rocks get crushed into sand grains. They didn't survive. I couldn't save them. I silently listened to Zakun. All this time there have been rumors that they were killed or mysteriously kidnapped. To think it was just a tragic accident. Why don't you join them if you're on the same side? Those people shouldn't get involved. And I don't like them. Seiken stops and narrows his eye at my words. It's a warning, but I can't help being curious. You know, if you're the forest demon, it explains everything. But I know you're not. They see demon have horns, and anyone could clearly see you don't have those. I swear, there were priests in the village, but there was no mention of one who decided to live inside the forest. I'm gonna keep guessing since you won't tell me. Remember that night you saved me from the Shinigami? For a moment I thought you had superpowers or something, but I was half asleep at the time. He freezes for a moment, then turns his back to me. He doesn't say anything. We continue digging for the whole day, and only finish burying the bodies when the sun sets. Right as the thought crosses my mind, Seiken produces a wild peach out of nowhere, offering it to me. There's more food at the temple. Let's head back. It surprises me how much food he has hidden in the temple. Mostly fruit, but I'm too hungry to care and eagerly dig in. I glance over at Seiken when I realize he hasn't taken a single bite. I'm fine. We sit by the temple entrance staring at the sky. The colors of the sunset reflect the bloody field before us. I clear the fruit peels before continuing our conversation. I'm glad I bumped into you. I didn't mean to though, I was just running from those weird people and somehow ended up here. They showed up out of nowhere and tried to break into my house. Escaping was my only option. I thought you might know something about them. It's like you don't know how to sit still and be quiet. Please tell me anything you know. To be honest, I don't know anything. I only watch from the sidelines and clean up the mess. And even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you anyway. You aren't useful in the least. Unlike you, I want to help and find out what happened to them. From his indifferent shrugging gaze, he must not care about solving the case. Honestly, I don't want to get involved either. I wish everyone would just leave me alone. His voice fades at his last sentence. For some reason that made me feel guilty, and I decided to stop pressing him for now. Shortly later, I go home. It's gotten late, the streets are already empty. I wish I could call the police, but after what Seiken told me, I feel hesitant. Before I enter my house, I inspect the exterior. I spot a broken glass flower pot in the corner, but the windows and doors also seem to be untouched. The side of my house makes me nervous. When I get inside, I notice the door lock had been broken, but it's otherwise intact. Scratch marks from fingernails on the wood reminds me of the fear I felt. I should call someone in the morning. For now, I'll just drop a chair under the doorknob. My attackers also overturned a lamp, scattering my books and magazines over the floor. But the damage isn't as bad as I expected. I'm in the middle of picking up magazines when I hear a phone ringing and rush to pick it up. Hello? It's Miyoko. Hey, Leo's here. Sorry to call so late, but is there any chance Akuya's with you? No, why? I told her to come over yesterday, but she never arrived. I tried calling her phone, but she didn't pick up. That sure is odd. It's not like Akuya to run off without saying something. Should we search for her? Yeah, in fact, I'm on my way to your place. It's pretty late. Won't you make your dad worry? He probably won't come home tonight because of work. Is Akuya dead? That'd be kind of sad. By the way, I think someone broke in at my place. I don't think anything was stolen, but the living room's a mess. Thanks, Aoji. A short while later, we both arrive at the library building and discuss where we should start looking. We have no clue where she could be. Maybe she's in Roya's house. Maybe she followed some strangers. She could be in danger. I'm worried she doesn't know any self-defense moves. We walk around the village into the wee hours of night, but our search was to no avail. Let's call it night and continue tomorrow. The streets aren't safe around this time. Missing people normally have to be gone for 3 days before the police can accept a report, but I'm sure my dad will make an exception. Be careful on your way home. In the meantime, Miyoko. You too. On my way home, I muttered to myself, I do hope she's okay. The past few days have been so eventful I paid no attention to you. I'm so sorry, Akuya. My friend still has not been found after a few days. Even her brother, who she's closest to, doesn't know where she is. The police have already begun to look for her. Though we've been told not to worry. It's now exam week, which is a nice distraction. Leisure leans towards me, speaking in a hushed voice. I bet I'll score higher than you in this exam. I had no time to study, but there's nothing to worry about. Exams in and it's lunch break. Leisure approaches my desk. How'd the exams go? Naturally, it was easy. I'm sure I'll get a higher score than you. After school, Leisure and I revisit certain spots in the village, hoping to find any clues to Akuya's whereabouts. I feel like it's my fault. If I didn't invite her that day, she'd be safe with us right now. Even the cops are having trouble. Time's ticking and it's frustrating not being able to do anything. I pat his back to comfort him. I'm just as worried about Akuya as he is. This is the first time something like this has happened. We searched for the whole day, but it's futile again. Chain should know something about tracking people since it's his job. Maybe I should ask him. The police have been investigating the forest. Maybe I can check there too. I would call Leoji to join me, but I don't want to bother him. As I walk through the forest, I notice there's no investigators around. I didn't expect them to go home this early. Yeah, you're gonna find Akuya, alright. Probably gonna be dead or something. Maybe he knows that I'm here right now. Oh, it's getting dark. Suddenly, the sudden echo of gunshots in the distance draws my attention. Shane walks backward across the field, raising his gun at the temple like a warning. When Shane reaches the edge of the field, he puts down a body, which he'd been carrying over his shoulder against a tree. That's Akuya. As Shane runs closer to the temple, I go straight for her. Thank goodness she doesn't look hurt. Judging from the long pause between her breaths, she seems to be asleep. Hearing gunshots, again I turn around and my jaw drops at what I see. Out in the front of the temple, Shane wields dual guns. He fires without pause, but struggles to follow Zaken's incredible speed. Zaken uses temple monuments to recover, dashing closer and closer until he leaps upward in a sudden attack. Arrows appear above his palms when he extends his arms. Shane crosses his arms over his head, using them as a shield. They seem equally matched, each strike made with ruthless precision. The speed of their battle is so dizzying I can barely follow it. At this rate, someone's gonna die. I try shouting at them, but they don't seem to hear me. I have to stop them somehow. Hold Zaken back. When I get my chance, I dash forward and wrap my arms around Zaken. His arrows stop midair and disappear in a flash. You, what are you doing? Stopping you from fighting? With more bullets, Zaken continues to move, running across the field as he throws more arrows in Shane's direction. I feel like I might get flung into the distance if I let go. If you don't let go, you'll get hurt. If I let go, physics might hurl me away, which might be worse, so no thanks. Anyway, please stop this pointless fight. I don't want to see you hurt either. Suddenly, he twists around and holds me. I don't understand why until I hear another shot. He groans and grits his teeth, his nails piercing into my skin. Did he just use himself as a shield to cover me? Are you on the demon's side? Wait, is he referring to Zaken? Chain approaches us, his guns raised at us. I try to pull Zaken away, but then he mercilessly shoots a few times into Zaken's leg. I turn back to Chain, who just stares coldly at us. Chain, what are you doing? Now you can't escape anymore. Let's wrap this up. He really doesn't care who gets in his personal crusade. He holsters one of his guns, only to pull out a golden knife from under his jacket. There is murder in his eyes, and for some reason, he looks in my direction. Chain. Without hesitation, he throws the sharp knife at me. Terrified, I raise my arms to cover my head. He takes to realize I didn't get hit. That's very low. Zaken has moved in front of me. He holds the knife with his bare hand, blood seeping through his fingers. I knew you'd catch it for him. Then there are several knives sticking out of Zaken's legs. Dark liquid oozes out, staining his clothes. It's horrific to look at. He turns his head just enough to glare at me and speaks in a stern voice. Miyoko, you better leave now. Only if you run with me. Don't continue fighting. Zakin thinks about it. His eyes flicker to Chane for a second. Finally, he lowers his arms and steps back. As promised, I release him and look around, wondering what Chane suddenly pulls out his gun and fires. I let out a small scream as I watch Zakin fall to the ground before me. Chane takes his time to reload his guns, then aims for another shot. I stand in front of Zakin to block him. Unexpectedly, he fires at me and my heart skips a beat. The bullet whizzes past me, missing. It doesn't scare me. I'm determined to protect him. Why are you trying to kill him? Have you never heard of the Forest Demon? It's obvious. Just look at him. No human could move with wounds like that. His blood isn't even red. So what if he is a demon? Well, logically, you'd run away from demons, but... well, the story's not written that way. You are around him, and his appearance has changed. 2 horns are on either side of his head, and his eyes glow a faint red in the dark. His crimson hair seems to dance around him like flames as he moves. It matches the wild look of the aura that seems to appear around him again. His torn clothes matches his fierce aura, more stylish than worn. He really is a demon. Chane blocks just in time and their battle starts again. The flow is different this time. Zakin's on the offensive. Zakin's reckless attacks leave him open to Chane's knife, but nothing seems capable of slowing him down. Their exchanges are so fast my eyes can't follow. Their clothes are dripping with blood, but they don't seem to notice their wounds. Neither of them seem to be winning yet, but it's long before I notice Zakin's movements are becoming sluggish. He seems exhausted. Before the fight concludes, Zakin flees into the trees. Chane stares at the darkness where Zakin disappeared. I thought he'd go after him, but he sinks down on his knees and starts coughing. Chane, whose side are you on? I'm not on any side, I told you to stop. Jumping in the middle of the fight and defending that demon. My lungs. Chane unbuttons his bloody shirt and I see open flesh wounds and blood gushing out. I'll bring you to the hospital right now. He pushes my hand away and shakes his head. Too late now. What do you mean? You can't be. I can tell I'm beyond recovery. Why do you trust him? I reach for myself and the Chane holds me back. Never mind, this is my end. Don't talk too much, it'll get worse. Do you have any requests? I don't want to be remembered. Burn or bury this body, whatever. Before I can ask why, Chane slowly closes his eyes and his body goes limp and heavy. I desperately call his name, but he doesn't respond. Checking his pulse reveals that he doesn't have one anymore. I hope some miracle will happen, but he doesn't move. Chane is dead. I hold his dead body, feeling anxious. Maybe I can find a clue in his belongings. I don't touch his knives and weapons, and simply leave them on the ground beside him. While going through his pockets, I notice he has more injuries than I thought. Chane never left his back exposed, yet he has wounds and bruises covering his entire back. The dried blood indicates they aren't recent. They can't be from his battle with Zakin. Did he fight something else before coming here? I find a note hidden in his inner pocket. To the find of this body. Do not let anyone know. Burn or bury it. He actually prepared for such a moment. How could you have known? It occurs to me those undead people may still be around. Chane could have fought them. Why would he do such a thing? Is he worried about coming back as an undead monster? Chane, I'm so sorry. In the end, I can't bring myself to burn this body. It doesn't feel right. Besides, I don't have the materials for it. Starting a fire could also go wrong. After remembering where Zakin stashed the shovels for the other day, I find a good spot behind the temple and start digging. Even if it takes the entire night, I'll fulfill his request. It feels strange to bury someone I know. Even though we were never close, I feel sad. A few hours later, I place flowers on his grave and whisper goodbye. Thank you for protecting me when you did. I hope you rest in peace here. Akuya's still unconscious. I feel bad for leaving her alone for so long, but so much has happened I can't begin to process it all. Carrying her on my back, I go back to the village and bring her home. The next day, I report her status to the police via phone. Where'd you find the girl? Just on the street last night. I don't know what happened to her, she still hasn't woke up. I see. We'll give her a call soon and ask about the details. Thank you for telling us. Hey, you live in the Haikaiyo neighborhood, right? Yes. Have you seen Shane around? He's one of the guards there and we haven't heard of him. No. Chapter 3. Lonely Demon. On my way to the lockers, I see a large crowd surrounding someone. As I get closer, it's Sakuya. I heard you got kidnapped. Did you see his face? How'd they abduct you? I forcefully pushed my way to the crowd and took Akia's hand, pulling her away. Whoa, Miyako. How are you feeling today? Actually, you should be resting. I have so many things to tell you. You must hear this. Don't you want to hear this? I got kidnapped for a few days and returned unscathed. Isn't that unbelievable? Don't act like you took a vacation. What happened to you? Let me think. It happened in the evening when I was on my way to Leishi's place. I met this boy and talked to him for a while. He was asking for directions about some kind of haunted house. I'm not really sure. Everything went black after we departed. Next thing I remember, I was being carried on the back of a crimson-haired man. He was really handsome, but with the way he was rough with me, you'd think I was a sack of potatoes or something. And she was saved by Zaken. That means Roy had kidnapped her. Maybe Roy is still alive on this route. Who knows? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, goodbye.